Hey guys, welcome, and today's video we are reacting to Haminations video, Boy Scouts. It sucked.
Bryson, your dad and I decided that all you boys are gonna be Eagle Scouts because we believe this will help prepare you for the real world, be a huge accomplishment, and help launch you into adult life.
No thanks. I don't like doing scout camps.
Same, Bryson. I used to be in Scouts, but I didn't like the camping aspect, so...
It's too intense for me.
Poor Bryson.
Hi there. Hi, I'm Bryson, and my parents forced me to occasionally sleep outside in the middle of nowhere and called it Boy Scouts, despite my massive amount of weeping, wailing, and gnashing of teeth. And oh boy, do I have some stories about it. But as a gateway, they had me do Cub Scouts. The best thing I could say about Cub Scouts was that at least it was more chill. It was more like, okay, kids, today we're gonna do some bird watching and learn to tie a knot. But
Yeah. I like Boy Scouts, but as soon as I like Cub Scouts, but as soon as I got into Boy Scouts, it got harder for me.
then Boy Scouts were like,
Build an ice igloo and sleep in it, or you'll die.
good luck. Seriously, the scout camps were so lawless. The only laws we followed were the laws of nature. Why were these
no.
adults giving 12-year-olds the power of
Wait,
fire?
what?
One year, when my dad was a scout leader, he woke up to see that the boys had started a bonfire and were jumping through it.
What? Why? What is the point?
Stop! What are you boys thinking?
We were testing our courage, Bryson's
Oh,
dad.
no.
We were also testing Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection. If any of us are too weak, we'll fall in the fire and die.
What?
We'll clean the gene pool, making the next generation stronger.
What? Okay, that kind of makes sense. All right, let me join in. Woohoo!
Looks like
no.
we lost one.
Oh no, Bryson.
I was eased into scouts at a thing called Cub Scout Day Camp, where you would show up, do activities as a group like the Rain Gutter Regatta, Duck Duck Goose, and tying knots. Then at night, your parents would pick you up and take you back to your air-conditioned house. So you didn't actually have to sleep in the dirt. I remember being so jealous of the kids who had Lunchables. I was sitting there with a BLT sandwich with apple slices, a homemade cookie in the shape of a heart, and a handwritten note from my mom telling me how much she loved me. And meanwhile, Tyler had this. What a ripoff! But now, in retrospect, I'm grateful that my mom cared enough to pack me a lunch. One activity we did was we were going to learn how to make paper from, only stuff found in nature. We were gonna be the Bear Grylls of paper making. I was so excited to learn. But then we got there and they said, okay, class, here's how to make homemade paper. First, grab some toilet paper, get it wet, mold it into the shape you want, let it dry, then you've got paper.
Where are you supposed to get toilet paper in the wild? Is there some toilet paper tree I don't know about? I don't know.
Excuse me? That's like saying,
Here's how to make a chair from scratch. First, grab a chair, and voila, you've made a chair.
one useful thing they taught me was how to safely carve wood with a knife. Always aim the sharp end away from your body, and then stick the sharp end into another scout to conquer them.
Bryson! No! Bryson, no!
I was cruising through the Cub Scout ranks. Tiger, wolf, bear, weebelo. Still don't know what that is.
We be loyal scouts.
But then I had to evolve from a fun, relaxed Cub Scout into a
Hard, manly Boy Scout.
and that meant going on campouts where I had to sleep in the wilderness. Going on scout camps was really scary and anxiety-inducing for me. I was a really sensitive kid, so even just one-night camping trips were a nightmare for me. I was small and weak, so I couldn't hike as far as the other boys. I had gone on a few one-night trips begrudgingly, but when they announced a week-long backpacking/camping trip, I begged my parents to let me stay home in the air conditioning and indoor plumbing. After much deliberation, they finally said I could stay home. I was so relieved. But then I stupidly tried to push my luck. This was around the time that the Nintendo 3DS was the hot thing that I desired more than anything in the whole world. So I asked, Mom, Dad, can I get a 3DS, please?
I'll buy you a 3DS.
Ooh.
Really?
If you go to scout camp.
No! Can't I just get it for Christmas or something?
No. If you want one, you need to go on this scout camp. Show us how unreliant you are on technology, and in return, we'll buy you more technology.
This was such an
No.
ordeal for little me. I wanted the 3DS so much, but I despised Scout Camp. My mind raced trying to figure out a solution. Maybe I'll mow people's lawns for money and do lemonade stands. I'll save up the money to buy it myself.
No! If you don't go on this scout camp, so long as you live under my roof, you will never own a 3DS. I won't let you buy one even if you earn your own money.
This was a huge blow. I was devastated, and tragically, this was during the time when I still thought adults knew everything. And for
No.
some reason, I assumed that Dad could actually enforce this
No way.
outlandish rule. I was trapped. I had to go. My parents said that the only way I could get a 3DS was if I went on this trip. Your parents are buying you a 3DS for this? My parents forced me to go or I'd be grounded all summer. Anyway, you want some cold pizza sauce and cheese on a cracker from my Lunchable? And then every morning we woke up, packed everything up, and hiked for like 12 miles every day. Then set up camp again. And I hated hiking. Everyone was always like, what a great view. But I was like, the view is never worth it. But nowadays, I like hiking and views. Of course, my legs are so long now that I only have to take 3 steps and I'm there. But back then, I had little legs. I was so small and weak that the other scouts had to help carry my stuff, and I still feel bad about it. I'm so sorry for being small and useless, guys. I honestly wonder why I didn't get called a twerp more often, because I was one. It was probably a good thing I was so shy and quiet, because if I had let my true annoying self shine through, the other scouts probably would have killed me with hammers while the leaders laughed and said, boys will be boys. Ma'am, your son is throwing rocks at the other children's heads.
Oh, boys will be boys.
No! Teach them how to not do stupid stuff. Billy, stop throwing rocks and be nice.
But I love myself just the way I am.
Well, the way you are right now sucks. Do better. Try harder.
No!
No. Oh no, not another Bryson murdering spree.
Respect and suffering will be your teacher.
Honestly, as much as I bellyached about it, having my friends there to talk to made it pretty fun. Not to mention being bribed meant at least one good thing would come of all this. We hiked, sang, caught frogs, and made a shelter out of sticks and bark to get our wilderness survival badge. Looking back, though, it was funny how I always wanted to do my own thing, regardless of what the other boys were doing. They all decided to go skinny dipping in a pond, and I was like, no way am I doing that. But then Travis lost his swimsuit in the pond and had to streak back to his tent. And we later learned that the pond had leeches in it. The other boys wanted to stay up and make s'mores, and the leaders were gonna teach us some life lesson about not swimming in leech-infested waters or something. And I was like, no, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. Then on the drive home, we stopped at a burger place, and our leaders challenged us all to eat a burger with 4 patties. But I knew my weak stomach couldn't handle that, so I said, no thank you, and got a normal burger. And then everyone told me to go to college, and I was like, no, I'm gonna be a YouTuber. And then the IRS told me to stop committing felony tax evasion, and I said, try and stop me. That's a joke. I love paying my taxes.
Bruh.
But I did it. I finished the trip. Then
Yeah,
I
you
got home
finished
and was
camp,
given a
Bryson.
3DS.
Oh, yes!
I'm never going camping again.
Oh man.
The next big scout trip I was forced to go on was at this huge camp where tons of other scout troops would visit.
Ooh.
We arrived and this older scout came up to us. He held out his walking stick, pushed me aside, and
No.
said, get out of my way. In scouts, there's a hierarchy among the boys.
Oh man. Old boys, tall boys, young boys, small boys. No.
Where the older boys are allowed to be mean to the younger boys. However, I also had a glaring physical flaw that always had me at the bottom of the list. I was small, so even the younger scouts could beat me up. This boy was an assistant leader at the camp, and it was immediately apparent to me that he was the type of guy to get 1 micron of authority and let it go directly to his head and abuse his power. But he was older, and that made him better than us. At least in his mind. I think it's really neat that you've earned all these merit badges, buddy, but I think you're missing some of the most important ones. And those are the Emotional Maturity Badge, the Coping with Insecurity Badge, and the Going to Therapy Badge.
No.
Which is what I would have said if I had any confrontation skills. Instead, I kind of just observed his arrogant attitude and silently judged him. And then years later made fun of him online in a YouTube video. Haha, who's laughing now? Anyway, the leaders took us to our campsite, and all of us slept in this rickety wooden structure filled with bunk beds.
Bruh.
Then we went to a ton of merit badge classes and filled out packets.
Cool.
Great, we're just doing homework in the woods. But at least we had some downtime to just play card games together. However, one time while we were playing, this one kid, Sean, somehow fell out of his top bunk, did a flip through the air, and slammed into the ground.
Boom.
Anyways, got any fours? No. I continued through the Boy Scout ranks reluctantly and against my will, and I had to get interviewed to become a Life Scout. But in case you forgot, I was a shy little guy. The Scout leaders asked me what I learned and what requirements I did and blah, blah, blah. Then one of the leaders said, "Can I give you some advice? You could work on your eye contact." Oh. And from that point on, I've been really good at eye contact. Sometimes being told to cut it out is the solution. Look at my eyes! Look at them!
See into my soul!
The next big camp was a few years later. I was 16 and the leaders were like, "Hey kids, today we're gonna learn how to shoot a shotgun." And this was at a point where I still thought adults had it all figured out, so I was like, okay. Seriously, why were they letting 16-year-old boys wield shotguns? Luckily, we were okay, but what if one of the boys was feeling a little rambunctious that day? Or if they let their intrusive thoughts win? Young boys don't understand consequences yet. I'm 22 and I still don't understand them.
No, reprise it.
Anyway, they gave me the gun and threw a clay pigeon for me to shoot. I hit it! My very first shot, and I hit it! And then I missed the next 9 shots. 10% ain't bad. It's better than most of my school assignments. Then it came time to do an Eagle Scout project. So with a lot of help from my parents, I built some shelves to help my middle school organize their theater stuff. I had done it. I earned the rank of Eagle Scout. And now I love camping. I'm so prepared for the real world now. Can we see your resume? And what experience do you have that you believe will help you excel in this role? I don't have a resume or any applicable experience, but check out this square knot though. Honestly though, I don't think I deserve this award. I can't even start a fire on my own. And I'm not very trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, or reverent. My mom was the one that pushed for it, and I guarantee you that without her constant help with merit badges, camping gear, packing lists, and encouragement, I would not have earned this. She also helped my 3 brothers earn their awards, and I guarantee you that she can survive in the wilderness longer than me. She's the real Eagle Scout, not me. And so, by the power vested in me, by me, I officially revoke my Eagle Scout status and I award it to my mom. The moral of the story is that it's okay for your parents to force you to try new things sometimes. Maybe you'll make a video about it later. Okay, that's all the time I've got. I've got to get back to playing Animal Crossing New Leaf on my Nintendo 3DS. Hey guys, I'm sick right now. Thanks for...
Now, let's do the comment. If this comment gets 10k likes, I will touch grass. Shout out to moms for forcing the kids to do things because we would literally do nothing otherwise. I'm a dictionary and you better believe it book. Like, hi there. How many kills does Bryson have, Brody? Not a single kill higher than me. Flamethrower. Bro summon the whole object shell community. Bruh. Okay, well, I think we have time to watch another video, so what should we watch? My brother is a pyromaniac. Hamination. Okay, we're gonna watch this one.
It's Pod's last sale of the summer. Save up to 25% on moving and storage until July.
Bryson's cooking show. Today we are cooking cereal. First add cereal, then...
But Bryson, what if I like pouring the milk
Oh
first?
no, Bryson's about to kill another guy. Rip.
As I was saying, first add cereal, then milk, and voila.
Nah, Bryson, that's not how you're supposed to make cereal.
We've got cereal. What? Wait, no.
The gates of hell open wide to receive thy soul. Now submit thyself to unending torment.
No, please, I'm a good boy. Oh
Oh
no.
no. Rip. Rip.
Oh, please save me.
You didn't give me enough treats. No! Yo, this is the vibe. I'm vibing behind the camera.
Hi, I'm Bryson, and I once started a grease fire in my house. And believe it or not, this is not the first fire that the haminations family has endured. Let me start at the beginning. Now, almost all these stories revolve around one sibling, the pyromaniac of the family, my oldest brother, Brody. Now, before I decimate my brother's reputation, slander his name permanently, and ensure that he's never allowed within 500 feet of a lighter ever again, let me just preface with this.
I love you, Brody.
Our journey begins when Brody was 3 years old. I remember it like it was yesterday. Except I wasn't even born yet. My family was visiting our grandparents and uncles, and my Uncle Mark decided to have some bonding time with Brody. It remains a mystery to this day what Uncle Mark was thinking, but he decided to teach Brody how to use a lighter and how to lock doors. 2 essential skills for any 3-year-old, obviously. In one fell swoop, this knowledge transformed Brody from a harmless toddler to a dangerous fire hazard capable of burning the house down. Brody put his knowledge to use immediately. He locked himself in Grandma's room, hid under the bed, and started melting the wax under there. The bottom of the bed began to burn, and the wax started melting down onto the carpet. The family smelled the smoke and ran around the house looking for Brody.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm.
But the door was locked. When they finally got in, they saw Brody with a lighter in hand, standing next to a burning bed. They put the fire out quickly as Brody watched. Even though I wasn't there, I can imagine Brody grinning to himself, because born inside him at that moment was a flame that would never go out. This was the beginning of a lifetime of pyromania. My parents were rightfully mad at Uncle Mark, and years later they got back at him. Uncle Mark's son was very young, and my parents were visiting. Hey, little guy, come here. I'm gonna teach you how to use a lighter.
No! No!
Oh, no.
Does your family have a pyromaniac, or are you normal?
My main goal is to blow up.
The next incident happened 1 year later. Brody was 4, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Except I was still not born yet. Mom was outside the house talking to a friend, and Brody was inside unattended. He decided that he wanted a hot dog. He had seen our parents use the microwave before and thought, oh, I just need to put it in the microwave, hit a couple buttons, and hit start. So that's exactly what he did. But he unknowingly set it to over an hour. A while later, Mom's friend noticed smoke coming out of the windows in the house. Mom ran inside in a panic and found Brody with his hot dog. I tried to make a hot dog, but all I got was a piece of poop. The hot dog was reduced to a flaming carbon crisp, burnt to the very core.
No.
And that's how my family house almost got burnt down by a hot dog. Then the next year, when Brody was 5, he got glasses. This time I remember it clearly. Except I still hadn't been born yet. Once again, he was left unattended in the kitchen. Brody found a lighter, sat on the counter, and began lighting it over and over. You know, for entertainment. Then he thought, I wonder if my glasses are fireproof. He slowly began to raise the lighter closer and closer to his face, and the lens cracked. Mom? What? What was that noise? Did you break your glasses? Yes. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, or fireberg. Brody, in his teenage and adult life, has regularly set paper towels on fire on the counter, started fires outside for no reason, and put tinfoil in the microwave. I'm not even joking. Hey, Brody, what are you cooking? And when Brody was 6, he had to be held on a leash whenever he would go out. Yeah, he was one of those kids. However, even the leash could not contain his chaotic nature, because somehow, in one day, Brody set off a car alarm, an elevator alarm, and an airport alarm. If you haven't figured it out yet, let me just spell it out for you. Brody was a menace to society. He's still a menace, but his wife keeps him in check. Most of the time.
Oh no.
Now, all these stories were about Brody, but this isn't Brody's channel. Now it's time to talk about how I started a fire. But at least it was an accident, unlike Brody, who set stuff on fire on purpose. Also, all Brody's stories happened when I was just an unborn soul vibing in the quantum abyss. I kinda miss it. Anyway, on to my grease fire story. At this point, I had finally been born, and I was about to start a family recipe with my roommate, Dallin. The chicken was defrosting, and it was almost ready. So I put some oil in a pot and set the stove on low to heat up and be ready for the chicken. At least I thought I did, but I accidentally put the heat on maximum overdrive. Then I got distracted talking to Dallin and forgot all about the chicken.
You think the government should provide every man with a girlfriend?
After a while, the room suddenly started filling with smoke. I wonder what that could be. We looked and saw a plume of smoke coming from the pot. As I ran over to try and fix my horrible mistake, the smoke caught fire and blazed forth an eerie orange glow. I saw into hell in that moment, and the face of Satan stared back at me. Then, for an excruciating couple seconds, I sat there frozen, wondering what to do. Have you heard the term fight or flight? Well, there's actually a third option, freeze. And my brain chose freeze. Dallin saw that I was paralyzed and quickly jumped into action. He grabbed a bowl and carefully covered the pot and extinguished the flame. I was so embarrassed that my big, strong roommate had to save me. I very gingerly helped get rid of the smoke by opening the windows. I cooled and cleaned the pot and very carefully finished the recipe.
So good and tasty?
I also apologized profusely to Dallin, who insisted that it wasn't a big deal. I honestly can't properly explain how embarrassed and ashamed I was. I was just trying to be an adult and make a meal, and I almost burned my house down. But I learned a valuable lesson. The lesson is, have a roommate who's not afraid of fire. I will be more careful in the future, and hopefully next time I won't freeze. To end things off, I want to encourage you all to be careful and cautious when cooking, because you could literally die. Also, stay away from Brody or he will burn down your house. Fortunately, fire won't be an issue for me, because since my fire incident, I have mastered waterbending. And I've mastered firebending. Don't do this, Brody. Don't challenge me. It won't end well.
Wait? No way. No way. Whoa! Fight scene! Fight This is a ball. Yes? Oh, Brody.
I'm sparing you, brother. I'm letting you go in the name of our past friendship. But I warn you, even a single step out of line will result in your permanent end. Whatever, this game sucks anyway. You're just mad because you lost. Maybe, but at least my house isn't on fire.
Wait. What?
Hi, thanks for watching. Wasn't that fight scene amazing? My team did a fantastic job animating it. Thanks to Rushlight Invader and Aroa for storyboarding it, and thanks to my brother Brody for making the music for the fight. His wife played the flute for it as well.
Alright. Can't wait for my mom to find out I played Satan in the... What? Wait, Infamous Swoosh, you played Satan? Okay, well, that was that video. Now, bye you guys, and see y'all next time.